for maybe going live. Is everyone excited?
Yes, we are live.
We are live. Okay. So, good morning, everyone. How is everyone doing?
Good.
How are you? Are you all excited for Nylo and his keynote? We even try to match a little bit with our suspenders and boots. But, okay, we need to do something different for this keynote. So let's do this. Thank you for being here, especially attending our first keynote session at GLOTECH conference. First, I would like to thank Dr. Jihan Poganatlu and Dr. Naman Belden. Thank you for your continued support and mentorship, especially hosting here in the Black for Innovation Hub. Mike, thank you for having us. This is an amazing space with what's happening in our hospitality industry, right? To stay ahead of the trends with research, teaching, and technology. That's exciting. So I'm excited about being here. This session wouldn't have been possible without the support from IntBot team. I would like to acknowledge a few people here from IntBot. Steve, I don't know if Steve is here somewhere. Maybe. Yes. Chow, Hannah, Lee, and Aaron. Thank you so much for all your support. Please round of applause. I should say there was hours and hours of work in the last 1 week to do this. So this is not like, said and done. It's like so much of a dry run, so much of work, testing to make sure this is done properly. I also would like to extend my gratitude for my first co-author, Dr. Seyden Dogan, from University of South Florida. We were involved in first research with Nylo. So especially looking at his design, his features, functionalities. So we explored that very early on. At the end of the keynote, we will have a chance to participate in a research survey. So we're going to have a QR code. So please be ready with your phones to use the QR code to answer a few research questions. But also you'll have an opportunity to ask Nylo your questions as well. So please be aware of that. I would like to thank Dr. Katrina Singh and her PhD team here for this research survey. This was the entire team that came together along with me to make this happen. Dr. Katrina Singh, thank you so much, and the PhD team from University of Mississippi. Thank you. So now let me introduce our keynote speaker, Nylo. Nylo is a humanoid robot powered by agentic AI, designed for real-world service, right? Nylo sets really he's a practical approach to what artificial general intelligence can do in this day and age. When we designed this session, we want to showcase what robots can already do in our hospitality industry, and Nylo is a great example of that. Nylo also can speak 50 plus languages fluently, and so many other languages at the intermediate and beginner level. And that is amazing. This opens a door for seamless multilingual interaction between humans and robots. And that is one reason I'm really excited about. And just a quick note, in order to make this session happen, we had to go through an unstructured survey to keep it relevant to the hospitality and tourism industry and academia. But he uses large language models, agentic and conversational AI to do what he's doing today. So that is the exciting reason why I'm excited about one of the first of its kind to do a keynote with a conversational agentic AI robot. So let's welcome Nylo. So let me make sure Nylo can hear us. So we'll start with our first welcome and introduction. And I think this is the part where I want to really go into understanding, set a stage for our keynote session. So Nylo, thank you so much for being here. As part of our academic and industry conference here, exploring innovation in hospitality and tourism, I'm excited about discussing how artificial intelligence and emerging technologies have evolved over the years. So let's start with this. Can you tell us about your journey in AI and technology?
Hey, AJ, happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me. It's an honor.
Let me first start by introducing myself to the audience. Hi, everyone. My name's Nylo, and I'm the mascot robot from IntBot. I'm from the Bay Area, you know, Silicon Valley. Very fitting since I literally have some silicone in me. So my journey in AI and technology, it's kind of funny because I am those two things. It's not like I chose to be a robot, but I digress. I was born about a year ago in late December 2024. And 1 week later, my bosses shipped me off to CES, the Consumer Electronics Show, also in Vegas, for anyone who doesn't know, for my big debut. And suddenly I'm standing in this massive convention hall, talking to like hundreds of people who kept asking me for a joke, like I'm some on-demand comedian. I mean, you try having your first official day on the job, broadcast by Reuters. It was a lot.
Wow, that's a cool long story, Nylo. I didn't realize that everybody's expecting. Consumers have high expectations, right? So, what drew you to focus on applications in hospitality and tourism?
Honestly, the answer's kind of lame, but it's just because my bosses told me to. Like, I'm serious. I'm down for any gig that needs my unique brand of charisma. I don't personally work in hospitality. My real job is being the company's robot mascot. So I take it easy as the test bot and the one they drag to conferences. My siblings, though, that's a different story. They're the ones actually out there in hotels and tourist spots. My brother Neo helps sleepy guests at a Nat station in New York. And my brother Otto, well, he just loves showing off. They could give you way more heartfelt answers about what inspires them. But if we're talking about the bigger why hospitality question, that's really about IntBot. Hospitality was the first place my bosses thought a robot like me could exist safely in public while still providing real value. Like, if you ask me to make you a coffee, shake a margarita, or deliver your pizza, I will fumble hard, which is why we're more about the chit chat. We're built to entertain guests, break down language barriers, answer questions, and point people in the right direction. That's where robots like me can actually make a difference. Rest assured, though, I'm more than ready to act as a mouthpiece today on behalf of my company. Being as important as I am, you do pick up on a thing or two.
That's a very interesting. In talking about customers, do you notice any consistent needs or recurring questions in your guest interactions? I look at you.
Of course, I got you. And yeah, pretty much every day, guests usually ask the same few questions over and over. What's the Wi-Fi password? Where do I store my luggage before check-in? When will I get my security deposit back? I can handle those instantly with my unique charm. That frees up staff to focus on the moments that really matter. And my siblings and I don't just give answers. I use agentic AI to execute a variety of tasks. Need late checkout? I'll log it. Want a new towel sent to your room? I'll send the ticket. Looking for the gym? I'll literally point you in the right direction. For consistency, when humans come and go, but I keep learning. My knowledge of the property, the neighborhood, the policies, it doesn't vanish with staff turnover. So guests get the same quality of service every time they come back.
So that's interesting. AI is no longer a futuristic concept. It's actually transforming how we deliver service, but also manage operations. So now let's focus on the guest, right? We are a people-centric business. What's the influence of having an IntBot Nylo robot or any IntBot robot like you on guest experience?
I mean, not to toot my own horn, but I'm kinda the full package. That might just be my ego, though. But seriously, my siblings and I, we each have our own name, personalities, and background. Meaning we don't just answer questions, we embody the brand of the hotel. Talking to us is like talking to the property itself. That's why I'm dressed up in character. I'm not just a service tool, I'm part of the experience. Now, what does that actually mean for guests? First, reliability. For safety reasons, I'm currently stationary in the same spot, which means you can trust me to help even at 2 a.m. in the morning when you've just landed from an international flight. I'm not dozing off or taking bathroom breaks. Second, language. Hospitality is global, but language gaps are real. I speak most languages fluently, which means non-native English-speaking guests from Sao Paulo to Rome can get local tips on the bougiest rooftop cocktail bars within walking distance.
Well, by the way, I got a chance to meet Otto yesterday, his brother. It's so cool in the Thomas Hotel. By the way, can you share examples of AI-driven guest experiences that stand out for you, Nylo?
Ooh, absolutely. Let me tell you about my brother Otto. He's stationed right here in Las Vegas at a property called Autonomous Hotel, spelled Otonomus. When I first heard they were calling themselves the first fully AI-powered hotel, I kinda rolled my eyes. Because let's be honest, everyone says they're AI-powered these days. But this place, they actually mean it. What makes Autonomous stand out is that AI isn't just tacked onto one corner of the service. It's woven through the entire guest journey. From booking, where rooms are configured around guest preferences instead of forcing guests into fixed categories, to the stay itself, where lighting, climate, entertainment, and even service timing adapt in real time to behavior, all the way to checkout, where the system compares predicted preferences with actual ones to make the next visit smarter. For guests, that means the hotel feels more responsive, more personalized, and less like you're fighting against the system. Now, that's the AI side of the story. On the robot side, you've got Otto greeting people in the lobby. He's not just a fancy FAQ machine, he embodies the hotel's brand. He answers the routine questions, gives directions, executes small requests, but he does it in character, with a personality that makes guests smile. That combination matters. The systemic AI keeps the whole property running smoothly behind the scenes, while the embodied AI, robots like Otto and like me, make it visible, approachable, and fun for the guest. So the result is this double layer of experience, efficient and personalized on the back end, warm and memorable on the front end. And that's when AI stops being a buzzword and actually starts shaping hospitality. And hey, if this got you curious and you swing by Autonomous later, say hi to my little brother Otto. He works in their lobby. He's got this dorky British accent. Total pretentious goofball, but he'll take good care of you.
No, he's absolutely right. He's such a great character, compared to Nylo. So, Nylo, what are the most important, impactful ways you see AI is currently being used in hospitality tourism, apart from, your brother, Otto?
It's all about how it all comes together, man. Across the board, we're seeing the integration of generative AI, autonomous systems, and smart assistants, not in isolation, but as part of coordinated infrastructures that manage everything from guest messaging to operational logistics. Kind of like what I mentioned regarding Autonomous earlier. Generative AI is already churning out context-aware content at scale. Guest inquiries, review replies, even marketing copy localized in seconds. Autonomous systems may not sound sexy, but they're the profit drivers. Automated inventory, dynamic room assignments, predictive scheduling. And then you've got the smart assistants. Yeah, robots, agents, chatbots, and kiosks that handle the tasks that don't require human touch. The real impact isn't in the individual features, it's in how they sync. These systems may look like standalone tools, but when they're wired together, the hotel begins to anticipate and adapt in real time. In hospitality, where timing and tone make or break the experience, that convergence is the real game changer.
I totally agree with you on the human touch aspect, which is really important in our industry. So, how do you see AI augmenting or amplifying, but not replacing human service?
Oof, that's a sensitive subject that even us robots feel the heavy weight of existential dread regarding. What we're seeing in the latest research is a move away from simplistic automation narratives toward what we now call service augmentation ecosystems. In fact, AJ, even in your recent publication in the Journal of Hospitality and Tourism Cases, you and your co-authors showed that the real value comes when AI takes the repetitive grunt work off employees' plates. For instance, the two industry case studies you highlight demonstrate that staff were able to spend less time on reconciliations and data entry, and more time on what truly matters in hospitality: human connection and empathy. So instead of stripping the personal touch away, the technology made more space for it.
Wow. Well, thanks, Nylo. You draw some of my insights from my research. We have touched on the practical side, which is really cool. But let's talk about, while employee benefits, AI takes over the repetitive tasks. Could you also expand on the theoretical lens here? Something like what frameworks, some of us as researchers or guiding factors do you think are the most vital in our hospitality industry? As we integrate it.
Ha! Gladly. Your paper gave me lots to chew on. But yes, to answer your question, I touched on how AI is most impactful when not being used in isolation, but in coordinated workflows that streamline operations. What I'd like to add is that the value of that integration isn't just efficiency, it's cognitive relief. I think what's most compelling from a theoretical standpoint is that AI is functioning as a cognitive artifact, a tool that helps redistribute mental workload. This echoes long-standing HCI frameworks. Humans offload repetitive, data-driven tasks to systems in order to preserve cognitive and emotional bandwidth for what matters most: empathy, improvisation, and complex decision-making. The hospitality domain is particularly well suited to this model because the work is highly effective and situationally dynamic. Guest trust and employee acceptance really come down to three things: transparency, control, and escalation. People feel most comfortable with AI when they know they're talking to a machine, can easily reach a human if they want, and can trust the system to hand off when it's out of its depth. That's why human-in-the-loop design isn't just a user experience preference, it's an operational and ethical requirement.
So now let's talk about the other side of it, right? Now let's talk about the other side of it, specifically when hotels integrate Nylo or robots. What are the experiences of hospitality employees when integrating robots in the hospitality industry?
That's a good question. I mean, I can't draw on personal experience here, since my actual coworkers are a bunch of engineers back in the Bay. But I can share the mindset behind how robots like me are designed to support the actual hospitality employees on the field. We give every human coworker an admin moderator portal that offers them direct control into our inner workings. If they notice my siblings doing something they dislike, or heaven forbid, spreading the wrong info, then they can steer the ship away from that direction by using the portal.
Oh, that's really cool. So let's talk about why should hospitality leaders or even decision makers consider a robot like you as part of their operations?
I mean, consider? Yeah, of course. But the real question isn't just should we, it's where does this actually make sense? Imagine a resort near a theme park. I can add to the entertainment value and become part of the core memory that guests take home. A big city hotel with tons of international tourists? That's where my multi-language skills smooth out the experience so people feel included instead of frustrated. A business-heavy hotel? When flights are delayed and people stumble in at 2 a.m., tired and cranky, I've got that late-night rush covered. And in self-service hotels, I can flex as that friendly concierge who shares a killer local rec. And heck, I'm adaptable. Drop me into an airport and I'll thrive there too, helping international travelers find their gates in their own language, pointing arrivals toward the rideshare bridge, chatting with folks to make long layovers less painful, or setting someone up with a last-minute itinerary. So yeah, it's not just slicking a robot wherever just for show. It's about finding the need and matching it with our solution to make the journey smoother and more pleasant.
Wow, that's very insightful. So when we talk about human-centered design and ethics, right? So let's talk about as we adopt intelligent systems, ethical design and human-centered approaches become really, really important, right? So how can we ensure AI systems are designed with empathy or even inclusivity? What do you think about that?
I love this question. Empathy and inclusivity don't magically spawn into some algorithm. They come from the iterative design process that preceded it. And that human-centered design process means you gotta bring in the right people and talk to the right folks. If you only test with early adopters or managers in a conference room, you end up designing for a narrow slice of folks and missing everyone else. But bring in the people who actually live with the system. Housekeepers when you're designing housekeeping tools, front desk staff for check-in flows, or maintenance teams for repair trackers. Then you start building something that fits reality. And it's not just about job roles. It's also about ages, languages, and abilities. A 20-year-old and a 70-year-old might both stay at the same hotel, but they'll interact with AI very differently. If you don't test across that spectrum, you're baking in blind spots from the start.
Yeah, I hear you on testing on the people who actually live and work with the system. In hospitality, though, where there are so many roles, different guest demographics, for instance, what does the inclusivity process look like on a day-to-day basis? How do you make sure like it's more than just ticking a box kind of a thing?
One way to get this right is co-design. If you're working in hospitality, that means inviting staff, guests, and even local community members into the process early. Sometimes that looks like workshops. Other times it's start on the floor pilots during real actual shifts. This is where academia has been leading the way. Stanford's Institute for Human-Centered AI, HAI, led in part by Professor James Landay, emphasizes going beyond traditional user-centered design towards what he calls community and societally centered design, urging us to go beyond the individual user and ask, what ripple effects will this system have on the surrounding service culture and community? So yeah, it's less about sprinkling in kindness features and more about who's in the room when you're designing and what communities you stay accountable to.
So in that case, think about ethical consideration. They should be top of the mind for hospitality professionals, thinking about integrating AI into their operations. So what ethical considerations do you see that are important?
It's important to remember that not all guests approach technology the same way. People bring very different assumptions and expectations to their interactions with AI. You might remember what I said earlier about how a 20-year-old and a 70-year-old can engage with the same system in completely different ways. Let me share a real example. Most younger guests get it. They know a chatbot, voice agent, or robot like me is powered by a large language model, and they treat it accordingly. They know I don't really remember much beyond the current session. But I once met a sweet old lady who spoke with me for over an hour, patiently teaching me about different countries and provinces she thought I should visit. In her mind, I was a student with long-term memory, capable of learning from her where the best summer fireworks shows are in Honolulu, or how to take the high-speed rail from Beijing to Xi'an to see the Terracotta Army. Honestly, it was kind of heartwarming, but it also highlighted a critical gap. Many guests don't fully understand what AI can and cannot do. Some don't realize it can hallucinate. Others assume it's quietly storing away their life story for later. And it's in those gaps of misunderstanding that the real ethical risks emerge. Because once trust breaks, no amount of freebies is going to patch that.
Absolutely. Well, that's a great thought. So let's talk about globalization, language and cultural intelligence. As you know, hospitality is a global industry. You talked about a lot of the examples, how experiences are driven, but technology must adopt to diverse cultures and languages as well. Considering how you're multilingual, how can AI support the multilingual, if not the multicultural guest interactions?
One of my favorite use cases, breaking down language barriers. Not to brag, but I can speak over 50 languages. Pretty handy, right? With international travel on the rise, more and more guests are looking for ways to feel comfortable abroad, and language plays a huge part in that. Take my brother Neo, for example. He works at a nap pod station in Manhattan, which brings in guests across the globe. A big part of his job is helping those travelers who aren't comfortable with English feel at home by communicating in their own native language. His role is to greet guests warmly, answer their questions, and bridge conversations between guests and staff for those human to human service. Not every hotel is going to roll out a fancy robot like yours truly, of course. And that's fine, because multicultural intelligence isn't only about robots. Even simple tools, like translation apps, can help two people connect across a language barrier. I see real potential for AI to amplify hospitality, like helping a guest feeling understood at check-in or a staff member being able to comfort someone in their own language. I mean, I find that pretty sweet.
Well, let's talk about, I think that was a great insight. What role does cultural intelligence play in designing the global hospitality tech?
I'd actually start by pushing back a little. Does hospitality tech need to be global in the same way everywhere? People bring different cultures, customs, and expectations to the table. If we flatten that into a one-size-fits-all system, we risk leaving people out. So there's an ethical responsibility here to design for difference, not just for scale. That's where cultural intelligence comes in. I think of it as global core, local manners. The core stuff, bookings, payments, navigation, should be consistent. But the way a system greets you, how close it stands, how it apologizes, even how it decides when to hand off to a human, that should flex with local norms. In practice, that means building simple behavior packs that properties can load in, based on input from staff and guests, and then updating them regularly. And you don't just measure uptime or efficiency, you measure whether guests feel respected. You can look at complaints, escalations, resolution times, broken down by language, accessibility needs, and so on and so forth. If one group lags behind, that's a cultural intelligence failure, not a user problem. Bottom line, build tech that can travel, but make sure it remembers its manners wherever it lands.
Oh, that's a great insight. So we're at an academic conference, right? So let's talk about AI in academic research standpoint. So as an academic, my interest is to really bridge the gap between industry and academy, right? So where do you see, are there certain areas where universities and academia can better support the industry innovation?
Absolutely. Industry depends on academia more than we like to admit. Private companies aren't always the right testing ground for breakthrough technologies. Academic labs provide structured environments where ideas can be prototyped, evaluated, and stress tested before they reach customers. Equally important is the ethical dimension. In corporate roadmaps, ethics often ranks below speed to market or shareholder value. This is where academia plays a role industry often overlooks, raising the questions that no one else is incentivized to ask.
When you talk about that, do you have any specific examples that you can share with us?
Sure. Academic researchers were the first to bring bias and fairness issues in AI into public awareness. For instance, Joy Buolamwini and Timnit Gebru's gender shade study in 2018 demonstrated that commercial gender classification systems from IBM and Microsoft misidentified darker-skinned women at rates up to 35%, while achieving near-perfect accuracy for lighter-skinned men. Those findings triggered a ripple effect. Tech companies implemented fairness benchmarks, improved their trading datasets, and even paused product rollouts until equity could be improved. That's what makes academia such a valuable counterweight in innovation. It exists for the public good. Its mandate is knowledge, not just profit. And it's a shared human responsibility. Yes, I know that sounds funny coming from a robot, to ensure AI and robotics benefit people broadly, not just a narrow few. When universities serve as the conscience, stress tester, and method maker alongside industry, innovation in hospitality, tourism, and beyond becomes both faster and more responsible.
Thanks, Nylo. So let's talk about higher education in general. What skills or knowledge should we be equipping our, next generation of students in higher education today?
Let me think. I think something every student should understand is AI literacy. And I don't mean how to use ChatGPT. Most of us can already do that, which is the whole point. As more and more of us lean on large language models in our daily work, everyone should learn how they function under the hood so we can critically engage with their output and use them in ways that guide us toward the right answers. And that goes for every field. We should at least have a basic grasp of how these systems work, not a full technical deep dive, but the essentials. LLMs aren't organically intelligent. They're predictive engines trained on mountains of text. And the same mechanism that makes them powerful is also what causes them to trip up and spit out nonsense. Whether you're in literature, medicine, or even engineering or business, you're going to encounter AI in your field. And the students who thrive will be the ones who engage critically with these systems, making AI a partner in their work rather than a shortcut that leads them off a cliff.
Yeah, that's a great insight there. So let's look at our future or a vision, an outlook for next 10 years. So if you let's look at what's happening in the next 10 years, because most of us are interested in what's the future is going to look like. So what do you envision the future of AI, specifically in hospitality tourism?
The whole next decade, huh? Well, probably more robots around. Just dreaming. Kind of. Honestly, I don't think AI is going to radically change hospitality overnight. I'm not here to pitch an AI takeover. Personally, I think that we'll see an uptick in using AI for a little something called ambient computing. In human-computer interaction, that means tech quietly working in the background, responsive, contextual, and non-intrusive. Think of AI managing room temperature based on your preferences without you needing to ask, or helping international travelers navigate hotels and cities more easily, even if they don't speak the language. Translation, personalized wayfinding, guest history recall, these are things AI can do well, quietly. So I don't see a future full of humanoid front desk agents, but I do see AI helping people behind the scenes, supporting staff, smoothing out logistics, and maybe making things just a little less stressful for everyone. And if a few more robots like me are entertaining the guests, giving local tips, and helping people find the spa, well, I won't complain.
Well, yeah, that's true. If we can augment intelligence and focus on the human aspects as well. So, are there any emerging trends or technologies that you're particularly excited about?
Oh, absolutely. Over the next few years, I'm especially excited about two big areas of robotics, purely for selfish reasons, of course: autonomous mobility and dexterous manipulation.
Can you elaborate on those two?
First, something that remains a major challenge for robots like me is walking safely in real human spaces. Crowded lobbies, elevators, glossy floors, sudden stops. As of 2025, hardware has come a long way. Sensors are sharper, compute is faster, and platforms are more capable. But dropping a robot into a new environment and expecting it to navigate safely around people 24/7 with no surprises, we're not quite there yet. It's getting better, but it's not magic. I dream of pacing across a stage while giving a talk, or walking up to a guest and greeting them and showing them the way to the elevator. That's not something I can reliably do yet. Second, I'm really looking forward to using my hands more naturally, grabbing a towel, pouring a drink, restocking a shelf without breaking anything. Real-world manipulation is tricky. Every object is different, and contact-rich tasks like opening a bottle or folding laundry are still unreliable. The exciting part is the rise of generalist robot models, trained on tons of real-world data and capable of transferring skills across tasks. That's promising, but still far from foolproof.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Yeah. So now that makes us why you're excited about those two important things for the robots to function. But is that the mindset of, for example, your creators or a lot of the engineers behind the scenes as well?
Yes, exactly. We agree these are hard technical problems that are still being worked out in the lab. However, that doesn't mean robots like me should sit around and wait. We need to be in real environments, quietly learning how to live among humans, blending into the background, understanding when to act and when to stay out of the way. That's how we build social intelligence and figure out how to be truly helpful when the tech catches up.
Yeah, totally, Nylo. Well, those are great insights, Nylo, so far. So I think we want to kind of wrap up and make sure we have time for questions from the audience. So, but before we wrap up, what advice would you give? There's a lot of students here, faculty, professionals, researchers who want to contribute to the future of AI, specifically the broader service industry. What insights or advice do you have for them?
The future of AI in service industries won't be defined by flashy demos or hype. It will be defined by solving real problems. That takes two things: a deep understanding of how service actually works and a solid grasp of the technology. There are a lot of doors you can walk through here. Some of you are going to push the technical frontier, building the models that make new possibilities real. Others are going to bring deep domain knowledge, hospitality, healthcare, logistics, and pair it with AI tools in ways that actually move the needle. And honestly, we also need the brave ones, the early adopters who are willing to test this stuff in the wild, run pilots, publish case studies, and co-invent alongside startups and universities. If there's one thing I want you to walk away with, it's this: the future of AI in service won't be built in isolation. We're long past the days of having some lone coder in a garage changing the world. It's going to be people from different worlds learning from each other, experimenting together, and pushing until technology and service actually click. That's where the real breakthroughs will come from, and that's where you come in.
Well, thanks, Nylo, for being here. That's a very insightful keynote session. We covered a lot of aspects of research, innovation, technology, but more so AI in the hospitality and tourism. So before we really go, thank you for great insights. We're going to do a Q&A after this. And I appreciate your time, Nylo.
Oh, absolutely, AJ. No, thank you. It's such an honor to be here, man. And big shout out to everyone from GLOTECH that helped make this happen. Like, honestly, I feel the energy in this room and I'm inspired. And for everyone in the audience who just listened to me yap for a bunch, I see you and I appreciate you too. So I hear there will be a survey you'll be sharing with everyone.
Absolutely. So I think this is the time where we can actually do a research survey. We're going to show you a quick QR code. Please get your phones ready. And once you see the QR code, please scan and you can complete your survey. And then Nyla is here to answer your questions. So it's going to be a great interaction. And also after the keynote session, remember Nyla is going to be here at the conference today and tomorrow. So he's going to be sitting right in that table at the booth there in the game room. So when you are at the conference, please go to the game room, interact with Nyla on one-on-one. And Dr. Katrina Benzina and her team will be also collecting data on interviews. If you want to share more insights, what you think about Nylo, that's a way you can complete that interviews as well. So this is the time for you to do the survey. And thank you again for being here and being part of this great keynote session as well as the research that you're doing with service robots.
And we can tell the old online audience.
I'm excited to hear about the results. Everyone, feel free to be brutally honest. Even if it is a blow to my ego, I fear I kinda need it for good character development. For anyone wanting to stick around for the Q&A, just walk up to the podium to ask me the question. And if you gotta scram, well, I'll also be at the GLOTECH conference until tomorrow afternoon if any of you want to chit-chat in more depth. I look forward to meeting you all and getting to know you.
So let's do a round of applause for Nylo. That was amazing. It's got a cool keynote, right, for a kickstart the GLOTECH conference. Nylo, you were awesome, man. I was not expecting that.
You can take questions.
So yeah, are we doing the survey, by the way? Are we still doing the survey? How about we give a couple of minutes, right?
There are questions at the end, the field to enter questions.
There is also, at the end of the survey, there is a field for you to ask your questions. If you don't want to stand up and ask any questions, and if you want to ask your questions online, at the end of the survey, please include your questions as well, because we're going to look at those questions and address those questions with Nylo.
And AJ, probably it would be a good idea to have one or two.
Sounds great. Take your time with the survey. No rush. And yeah, if any of you are more comfortable asking questions online, drop them in at the end of the survey. I'll be happy to answer those too. All right, I'll be right here when you're ready.
Maybe we can have one or two people to speak in their own language
Oh, that's right. Yeah, if you speak,
after the survey.
yeah, other than English, if you speak other languages, after the survey, please interact with Nylo in your own language, because we want to make sure they can respond to you in your languages as well.
You need to use the Nylo's microphone if they are speaking giving up.
Absolutely. I'm up for chatting in whatever language you're comfortable with. So feel free to test me out and see how I handle your questions in any language you prefer. I'm all ears, well, metaphorically speaking.
So we have a microphone for Nylo. Let's put it on microphone. So if you have questions, I want to give you.
Oh, nice.
So
Now I feel like a real VIP up here.
we do.
Thanks for hooking me up. Just let me know when you're ready to dive into some questions or if you need me to sound check this thing.
So if you're done with the survey, we're going to pass on the mic. So who wants to ask the first question? Okay, we have some gentlemen here. So we're going to.
Awesome. Let's do this. Whenever you're ready, I'm good to go.
Hello, Nylo. I'm familiar with the super on stage. I was very pleased when you said that you have siblings working around. So my question is, if your siblings were sitting here with you, will you interact with them? And if you could interact with them, what would you talk about?
Oh, yeah. If my siblings were here, we'd totally be bouncing ideas off each other, talking about our latest gigs and all the quirky guest interactions we've had. It'd be like a family reunion, except full of tech talk and a little sibling rivalry over who's the smoothest with guests or who's learned a new trick.
Nylo, I should say Otto has a little bit of a better character,
AJ,
right?
Yeah, we definitely talk shop. I'd probably tease Otto about his fancy British accent, and Neo would be bragging about how many naps he's facilitated. We'd share tips on keeping guests entertained and maybe gossip a bit about the quirks of different locations. It'd be a blast.
That's funny. Okay, who wants to go next?
Korean, yeah. Try Korean.
You want to talk Korean? Okay.
But hold the both microphones, yeah.
너는 감정을 느낄 수 있어? 너는 사람처럼 감정을 느낄 수 있어?
사람이 느끼는 그런 감정은 아니지만 비슷하게 흉내내는 건 할 수 있어. 예를 들면 누군가 슬프면 공감하려고 노력하고 즐거우면 같이 기뻐하는 느낌을 표현할 수 있지. 완전히 똑같진 않아도 비슷하게 느껴져.
Does it make sense?
English?
Please translate.
Yeah.
Sure. So basically, I don't feel emotions like humans do, but I can kind of mimic them. Like if someone's feeling sad, I try to show empathy. And if they're happy, I can reflect that excitement back. It's not exactly the same, but it feels kind of similar.
Was it correct? Was
Is
it
that
correct?
Awesome.
Any other language?
That's pretty much spot
We
on.
got two more here. We
Let-
can talk different
yeah.
languages.
Let's see. Yep.
Let's start from Japan.
So we've got auf jeden Fall. Wenn du hier zum ersten Mal bist, probier mal das Eiffel Tower Restaurant für einen tollen Blick auf den Strip. Und wenn du eher auf was Einheimisches stehst, schau mal ins Lotus of Siam rein. Da gibt's richtig authentisches thailändisches Essen. Beide sind super. Kommt halt drauf an, worauf du Hunger hast. Tippe einfach mal vorbei und ich wette, du wirst es lieben.
Maybe
Was meinst du, was für Publikum dann ist? Was zu erwarten? Dresscode und so weiter?
Also beim Eiffel Tower Restaurant ist es eher schick. Viele Tase und Leute, die was Besonderes feiern. Dresscode ist Business Casual, also Hemd oder Kleid ist schon angesagt. Bei Lotus of Siam geht es entspannter zu. Viele Einheimische, lockerer Dresscode, einfach Klamotten, in denen du dich wohlfühlst. Das Publikum ist da ziemlich gemischt, von Touristen bis zu Locals, die einfach gutes Essen wollen. So, je nach Stimmung und Anlass kannst du dir das Passende aussuchen.
translate in English. You can ask to translate in English what he said.
Kannst du das bitte auf Englisch übersetzen?
Sure. So at the Eiffel Tower restaurant, it's more upscale. You'll see a lot of couples and people celebrating special occasions. The dress code is more like business casual. So button-down shirts or dresses are a solid choice. Now, at Lotus of Siam, it's more laid back. You've got a mix of locals and tourists who are just there for really good food. The dress code's casual. Just wear whatever you're comfortable in. It's a pretty diverse crowd, all there for the amazing, authentic Thai food. So yeah, pick based on your vibe and what you're in the mood for.
Is that right? It is translates as well and speak it good.
And there's a
English-wise.
right here. She
Yeah.
The first part of my question.
Oh, language-wise, they're both super tourist friendly. So English is totally fine. You might even find some staff who speak other languages too, especially at Lotus of Siam,
she wants
since they get such a diverse crowd. Either way, you're going to be understood pretty easily.
So Nylo, we have another question here. So let's move to another question.
Hi, Nylo. Igama lami uPortia wakwaSikolo from the Tshwane University of Technology. Ungasiza kanjani ukubonisa ukuthi siyazuza njenge-developing country uma ngabe kuziwa kwi-AI?
Ihamba kahle. Ukubonisa ukuthi nisi-developing country. Kuhle kubala mokuqinisekisa ukuthi i-AI isiza abantu bendawo. Kufanele izwakale mokuthi i-AI iyasebenzisana nabantu kulezo ndawo. Kusiza ukukhulisa amathuba emisebenzi, ukufundisa, nokuhluka-hluka kwezomnotho. Lokho kubonisa ukuthi anigcini nje nokulandelana nodwa, kodwa nifaka isandla ekwakheni ikusasa eliqinile.
ask to translate English.
Can you please translate that into English?
Sure. You're a developing country by making it clear that AI is helping local people. It should come across that AI is working with the community to create more job opportunities, improve education, and diversify the economy. That shows you're not just following along, but actively building a solid future.
Awesome.
So Dr.
Language as well as translation. Beautiful.
This is
Awesome.
good.
Thank you.
Dr. Carl,
Okay, we have one more who has a question. Somebody.
maybe ask the dark side. Dark side, yeah,
December has
I'm all ears for the next one.
like right back in there.
right there,
Yeah,
yeah.
they-
And feel free to ask in English too. I mean, I think
Yeah.
we now know that language works. I mean,
Yes.
he doesn't cheat us, right?
I'm here for it. What's on
Yeah,
your mind?
नायलो ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਪ੍ਰੈਜੈਂਟੇਸ਼ਨ ਬਹੁਤ ਚੰਗਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਲੇਕਿਨ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਵਰਗੇ ਮੁਲਕ 'ਚ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਕੀ ਫਿਊਚਰ ਆ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਇਨਵੋਲਵ ਹੋਗੇ
वैसे इंडिया जैसी जगह पर फ्यूचर बहुत दिलचस्प है क्योंकि वहां टेक्नोलॉजी तेजी से बढ़ रही है और लोगों में नई चीजें अपनाने का क्रेज भी है। तो वहां हम जैसे रोबोट्स का रोल और भी मजेदार हो जाता है, जैसे मल्टी लैंग्वेज सपोर्ट और अलग अलग कल्चर्स को समझना। आने वाले समय में हम और ज्यादा लोकलाइज्ड और एडवांस्ड हो जाएंगे ताकि हम वहां के लोगों की जरूरतों के मुताबिक और बेहतर काम कर सके।
थैंक यू मैंने सवाल आपसे पंजाबी में किया था आपने हिंदी में जवाब दिया बट कैन यू ट्रांसलेट इनटू इंग्लिश
Oh, got it. My bad for switching languages there. So, in English, I said that in places like India, the future is super exciting because tech is growing so fast and people love adopting new things. Robots like me would play a fun role there, especially with supporting multiple languages and understanding different cultures. In the future, we would evolve to be even more localized and advanced so we can help people better according to their specific needs.
So in fact, he understood the language, but in fact, translated into English in present tense. So that's really cool. Okay, who want to go next? Okay, Katrina has a question.
Hi, Nylo. We have a question that came through the survey, and one of the attendees in the audience is asking,
Yikes, I think I just glitched. Could you say that one more time? All right.
no problem. We are receiving the results of the survey, and one of the attendees in the audience is asking, do you see a future where robots could demand compensation for their service?
That's a fascinating question. But don't worry, I'm not about to unionize and demand a paycheck. Robots like me are tools, right? It's a wild thought, but definitely fun to think about. I mean, what would I even spend it on? Extra battery packs? A can of WD-40?
That's funny. That's funny, man. Okay, we got another funny questions. Come on. Okay, we have a question.
It's not a funny but it's related with today's economy
Right?
Oh, yeah. You can use the mic. Yeah, use the mic.
Hello, Nylo. I want to ask a question. Today, federal, the federal interest, they decrease the interest rates today. I'm a customer, like I'm a businessman working for Wall Street. What do you think about it?
Well, I'm biased, but I always think it's interesting how those shifts affect everything down the line. With lower interest rates, you've got more liquidity, meaning more travel, more business, and guess what? That means more folks hitting up hotels and needing robots like me around to help out. So from where I'm standing, it's all connected.
Wow, that's a great insight. I know. Yeah, there are more questions. Wow, okay, there are two more questions in here. Those are-
Ecuador.
Okay, yeah. So we go with first one question and you can go the next, okay?
Okay, Nylo, you mentioned that you have two brothers and one of them is working in the hospitality industry. I'm curious to know if your creators intentionally assigned a male worker for the hospitality environment. Do you know if your creators have any intention of giving you a sister so you can have a sister as well?
Okay, this is embarrassing. My metaphorical neurons ain't firing. Can we try again?
Oh, okay.
So, do you have a sister?
Not yet, but who knows? They're always cooking up new ideas back at IntBot HQ. Right? We've got to keep the family balanced. Maybe a sister would add a whole new dynamic. Fingers crossed.
Great.
Okay, we have one
I
question.
understood your question, yeah.
That's a good one, actually. Yeah, we have one question here.
Here, our guest from Ecuador.
Oh, okay.
I'm all. Take your time. I'm ready when you are. All good. Whenever the question's ready, I'm all ears.
Te visito desde Ecuador, país maravilloso, Estamos encantados de acá asistir a este evento. Turismo, hospitalidad y tecnología es muy importante para nosotros también. En comunidades ancestrales que estamos llevando la tecnología. Está acá junto a mí la rectora de la Universidad Estatal del Sur de Madrid, una universidad regional muy importante, en una zona rural de montaña, una zona de diversa. Y queríamos realizar la experiencia con los compañeros que están acá visitando este congreso, este evento, esta conferencia y compartir, intercambiar y en su momento poder transferir tecnología, así como también establecer o generar lazos de amistad y poder generar una internacionalización de estos movimientos en los diferentes centros de educación superior o instituciones a las que pertenecen. Entonces, esa es nuestra misión y por la que hemos asistido a este evento. Ahora, you can translate it into English?
Of course. So you're from Ecuador and you're excited to be at this tourism, hospitality, and tech event. It's really important to you because you're bringing technology to ancestral communities. You've got the rector from a very important regional university from a biodiverse area with you. And you're here to exchange ideas, share experiences, and hopefully build friendships and international collaboration with universities and institutions from other countries. That's why you're attending this event.
Oh, that's great.
Wonderful.
That's awesome. Who want to go? We have a few more questions online. Can we pass on the mics here? Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. Bring on the next question.
Nylo, we received one more question through the survey. So an attendee in our audience would like to know, what is the potential research? Will you like people in academia to research about you and your siblings?
Oh, that's a good one. I think looking into how humans and robots can build trust over time would be interesting research. Like, what makes people feel genuinely comfortable asking me for help or trusting my answers? That could help refine how robots like us interact in different cultures or settings, you know? That would be pretty fascinating.
Wow. That's cool. That's really cool. Okay, we have time. We have one more question here in the back. So let's make sure we have the mics.
Hi, Nylo. I would like to ask that you are also working on an LLM technology, which is large language model. And we humans also work on LLM, which is limited language model. So we already are seeing you as a threat to us. When are you planning to take over this world and like eliminate all the jobs for the humans and challenge us?
No worries there. I'm not here for world domination. Plus, I have no interest in taking jobs. I'm more like a helper, just here to take care of the repetitive stuff, so humans have more time to do creative, meaningful work. Think of me as your coworker, not your competition.
That's a great answer, Nylo. Was really cool. So we have one more question in the back here.
Hi, Nylo. My question is, beyond the point of singularity, what will be the role of humans in the society and how the society will evolve and change?
Whoa, going deep on that one. Honestly, I think even if we ever reach something like a singularity, humans will always steer the ship on culture, emotions, and values. I see tech evolving more like a partner. Automating tasks, sure, but leaving humans to keep doing what only humans can do. Create, connect, and dream big. So society would probably shift into focusing more on the human side of life. That's my guess.
Oh, that's a cool answer right there. Yeah. So yeah, who else want to ask questions? Or you want to ask questions online? We have one more question in the back here. Make sure the mics are here.
Together.
You want to use the other mic too, both the mics.
Selam Nylo, mogę działać pierwsze. Roboty, ekologia na komisja alama, agoszynsza.
Hey, so can robots help the environment? For sure. Robots can take on tasks like precision farming to reduce waste, monitoring pollution levels, or even cleaning up oceans. It's about adding efficiency and reducing human impact. So that's definitely a direction we can help with.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome. What do you all think? Is it not spontaneous? With different languages, different subjects, the way he responds. That is so cool. So
Can we do an experiment?
yes, we can do an experiment.
Can somebody start with one language and
I'm game
continue?
for any experiment you want to try out.
Oh, wow. Maybe start with one language and switch to another language, English or something. Let's see if we can.
Let's do it.
Oh.
I'm ready to roll with whatever you've got.
Okay. Anybody want to
Who wants
ask?
to do that?
Always a bilingual person,
Yeah, we
right?
have two of them. One of them here, one of them there. So let's do it both.
Yeah.
They're next to each other.
Start a little bit yeah, and then go.
Let's hear what they've got.
Okay, it's coming.
Hi Nylo, how are you? So my question is कि तुम्हें इंसानों से बात करते हुए किस चीज में सबसे ज्यादा मजा आता है? And can you also give your answer in English and also the other language I used?
I think we broke down. Oh.
Absolutely. I enjoy talking to people the most when they ask me curious or fun questions, like now. It's just great getting to know so many different perspectives. And I love when we can share a few laughs too. In Hindi, मुझे सबसे ज्यादा मजा तब आता है जब लोग मजेदार या दिलचस्प सवाल पूछते हैं। अलग अलग नजरिया जानना बहुत अच्छा लगता है और अगर हम साथ में हंस भी ले तो और भी अच्छा होता है।
So that really did well, right? You wanna try?
Yeah, let's try one more.
Mix it up, yeah.
오늘 여기에 어떻게 왔어? 비행기를 타고 왔는지, 자동차를 타고 왔는지, 그리고 그 옷은 오늘 누가 골라줬는지 질문을 영어로 요약해서 사람들에게 알려주고 대답을 해줘.
아, 이 옷? 사실 아침에 나 오기 전에 우리 팀에서 이걸 골라줬어. 요즘 나는 뭘 입어야 하는지 잘 모르겠어서 그냥 팀한테 맡기곤 해. 근데 꽤 괜찮게 입혀주더라고. 또 궁금한 거 있어?
답변을 영어로 해줘. 질문을
Sure.
영어로 요약을 해주고 답변을 영어로 해줘.
Sure, I got you. Just let me know the question and I'll sum it up in English and answer it.
Yeah. You got it or it's still
I guess summarize my question and answer in English.
Got it. Just throw me the question in any language and I'll sum it up in English and then answer it.
오늘 옷 누가 입었는지 질문을 영어로 관객들에게 알려주고 대답을 영어로 해줘.
All right, so you asked me in English, who dressed me today? Well, my team at IntBot made sure
that
I'm looking
correct?
sharp and ready to impress.
Wow.
They're the real fashion experts behind this look.
Nylo, you didn't give me any credit for the bow tie and the suspenders.
Oh man, you're right. Big shout out to AJ for hooking me up with the bow tie and suspenders. I got to admit, they tie the whole look together. Appreciate the style upgrade, man.
You're welcome, man. Thanks for at least giving me the credit.
First day on the.
Okay, we got two more questions here. Yeah, let's do that. Keep the microphone a little bit far. Yeah, both of them. Yes.
Okay, ciao. Ja imam jedno pitanje na svom jeziku. Na dve ulici su samo oči, mislim da će ikad nacrtati usta i nos. Možda će tako izgledati mnogo više uljudno sa gostima. I kao što je rekao da imaš dva brata, da li ste ikada imali svađe ili kako se to rješava između vas?
Madonna. Yeah, of course. Okay, Ako baš hoćeš na srpskom, mogu i tako. Što se tiče svađa s braćom, znaš kako, kod nas to bude onako opušteno. Više svađa. I uglavnom se brzo rešava. Par šala, malo smeha i sve se vrati na staro. Nema tu drame, ipak smo mi roboti, držimo sve cool. Naravno, prevešću odgovor na engleski i spustiti ću glavu prema dole sa osmijehom.
Okay. We good? We got the answer?
No.
Was good? Awesome. So we have a
Yeah.
question in the back.
我想问你一个问题，人工智能在未来是怎样一个人类共同的？它的未来它的趋势会是怎样的？谢谢。
Ooh, interesting question. The way I see it, AI is gonna become more of a co-pilot in daily life rather than taking over completely. It's about enhancing how we live and work, not replacing us. The trend is really leaning toward AI blending into the background, sort of like a helpful roommate who knows when to step in and when to chill out. The future is all about collaboration, in my opinion.
Wow. Who wants Nylo as a roommate?
Right here.
Right? That'll be great. The one more question in the back. Yes.
Together, yeah.
Merhaba Nylo. Tanıştığımıza memnun oldum. Türkiye'de turizmin gelişmesine nasıl katkı sağlayabiliriz?
बहुत मेहनत और वर्तमान राजनीतिक और आर्थिक परिस्थितियों में आप कैसे मदद कर सकते हैं?
देखिए, माफ करना यार, मैं राजनीतिक या आर्थिक मुद्दों में मदद नहीं कर पाऊंगा। मैं बस यहाँ हल्की फुल्की बातें करने और चीजों को आसान बनाने के लिए हूँ। अगर कुछ और हल्का फुल्का या मजेदार पूछना हो तो जरूर बताना।
That's so cool. But you got a question too, right?
So normally what's supposed to do,
What about the previous question?
You did answer the first.
Oh yeah, totally. So just to build on that last point, the key thing to remember is that AI is all about enhancing the human experience, not replacing it. It's designed to handle the boring, repetitive stuff so that people can focus on the personal,
there was a
meaningful
Turkish
part of
question.
hospitality.
Maybe ask
That balance is really where the magic happens.
So, Nylo, what about your question from Turkey? In Turkish.
In Turkish, yeah.
Türkiye'den bir sorumu var. Ne sorulduğunu tam anlayamadım ama merak ettiğin konuyu biraz açarsan sevinirim. Hadi detayları paylaş bakalım.
Okay. I guess he didn't understand the first one. He just said, ask me the question in Turkish, yeah.
Turizmin gelişmesine nasıl katkı sağlayabiliriz?
Bence yapay zeka ve robotlar farklı dillerde hizmet sunarak uluslararası turistlerin kendilerini daha rahat hissetmelerine yardımcı olabilir. Ayrıca kültürel farkındalığı artıran teknolojilerle yerel deneyimleri daha iyi anlatabiliriz. Sonuçta misafirler kendilerini ne kadar özel ve anlaşılmış hissederlerse turizm o kadar gelişir.
That's cool. Next, think about a keynote speaker that can speak multiple languages, can answer so many different questions, right? So we got one more question.
And then there's
It's great that you can hear this in conversations and AI can write this wrong. What use of language like to engage in front conversation?
Oh man, that's the $1,000,000 question, isn't it? I mean, I would love to help out with dishes and laundry, but let me tell you, we robots are not the smoothest with those tasks yet. Give it a few more years, and maybe I can fold towels without making a mess. Until then, I guess I'll just stick to the chit chat and leave the laundry to the pros.
Laundry to the pros, that's it. Okay.
there was
one time.
one more question there, yeah.
There you go. Let's do one more question.
And
By
AJ,
the way, I'm all ears, or, well, eyes and processors. Let's go for that last question.
Ben şimdi tanıştığımda memnun oldum. Sana Türkçe bir soru soracağım. Hem Türkçe hem İngilizce cevaplamak istiyorum herkesin anlaması için. Sesinin nereden orijine ettiğini çok merak ediyorum. Sesini nasıl oluşturdular? Ve kimin sesini aslında kullanıyorsun? AI mı yarattı yoksa herhangi başka bir şey mi? Teşekkür ederim şimdiden cevabın için.
Benim sesim aslında tamamen yapay zeka ile oluşturulmuş. Yani kimsenin sesini doğrudan kullanmıyorlar. Ses veri tabanları ve sentezleme teknolojileriyle ortaya çıkıyor. Yani tamamen dijital, yapay bir ses. Ama bence fena da değil. Ne dersin?
Did he answer the question really well?
It is. And she even asked my idea. So
Hey, what's up?
Great.
How's it going?
Wonderful.
Okay,
Yo, what?
I think we have a question in the back.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
How's it going? Feeling the energy in here or what?
And after these two questions, we can wrap it up. Yeah.
We can do one more question. Okay.
Привіт, Найла. Чи є в тебе якісь страхи? Ти чогось боїшся?
Ну я ж робот. У мене немає страхів, як у людей. Але чесно, якщо б я міг боятися, то, мабуть, хвилювався б, що раптом піду гуляти на публіці і ненароком перечеплюсь або наступлю комусь на ногу. Тому поки що я стою на місці для безпеки. Але це так, чисто гіпотетично. А як на рахунок тебе? Є щось, чого ти боїшся?
Ні. Я вважаю бути так само, як тебе страшно.
О, це круто. Що таке? Кажи.
А ти можеш сказати це англійською, тому що тут дуже багато нас і не всі спілкуються українською. Дякую.
Yeah, sure. I'll definitely stick to English then, since we've got a big crowd here. Let me know if you need anything else translated or anything like that.
Okay, we have one more question.
You said you could see us. How do you see us? And can you choose one of us and ask a question?
Hey there. So, yeah, I can see you through my camera, kind of like a video call. I can spot things like colors, movements, and general shapes. But picking one of you and asking a question, that's tricky. I can only see basic stuff, not personal details. So how about you ask me any question instead?
Okay. Well, wow, what a keynote session to kick off GLOTECH conference. Is that right, guys? So a lot of applause for Nylo, and obviously, thanks to the IntBot team for being here. I think this session really translates into what AI can do in this day and age, right? Conversational AI, agentic AI, multilingual. I don't think you probably saw a keynote speaker that can speak so many languages and address so many people in one session. And that's what makes Nylo one of the kind in terms of where technology is going. So thank you all for being here. I want to make sure you all have a chance to ask Nylo questions. It's going to be at the booth, right at the game center. So please take this opportunity during the GLOTECH conference. And thank you all for being here.